Has Blizzard banned the lag hacker yet? Are Koreans back dominating foreigners? And when an American asks you, how are you? What do you respond with? All of these questions will be answered in today's episode of StarCraft Today.
StarCraft Today.
Your favorite StarCraft news show. Blizzard has not yet taken any action against a lag hacker that is currently terrorizing the European ladder for high-level players and streamers. However, rumor on the street is, and this is a confirmed rumor from multiple sources, is that they did get in contact with Serral after his now famous tweet. So perhaps in the near future they will be capable of finding the ban button and take out this rather annoying individual. On the 26th of November, Parting shared his intention to fulfill his military service in Korea. Military service lasts 21 months, and you cannot play StarCraft 2 competitively during that period, so he'd be at least temporarily retiring. He did state that he might return if there still is a good StarCraft 2 scene to come back to, and otherwise he'll explore his other option. For now, it seems like he wants to go there between January and March 2022 as a starting time. He apologized for his poor results to the fans, and he just wants to have a good time on his stream till then. This wouldn't be a StarCraft 2 Today episode without some extremely mediocre drama, so here we go. To understand this, we're gonna need a little bit of context. When a player from Europe and America play against each other, and it's a European-based tournament, like the EPT Cup Europe server, the default server is Europe. This gives the European player an advantage of about 100 to 150 ping, depending on the location of the North American player. If there is a North American-based tournament, very often the default server that is getting forced is North America Central. There's 3 servers in America: Central, East, and West. West being the worst for European players and East being the best. Now, in the EPT Cup number 100, Special had to play against ForJumy, and Special asked Jumy whether he wanted to play on the NA East server. And as a trade offer in a way, Special said, hey, if you play on NA East now, even though this is a European-based server, next time that there is an NA event, I will not force Central, and I'll allow you to play on NA East as well. So basically taking the fairest server 2 times in a row. ForJumy did not accept it because he does not enjoy playing with ping. He posted it on Twitter and he got some mediocre drama out of it. We had the Russian-based Protoss player Skillis comment on it as well. And I quote, "Funny, especially since Special would force server in every situation he is favored," with a big smiley face, the one that goes up all the way to there. And then Special himself replied with ? No lol. That really was it. As I said, extremely mediocre. A disastrous weekend in the TSL 8 for foreigners. We started on Friday with 11 out of the 24 players being non-Korean. And at the end of the weekend, there was only 3 remaining out of the 12 remaining players in total. 9 are Korean, 3 are non-Koreans. Part of this is due to some upsets. Ragnarok taking out Raynor, kicking him to the lower bracket is definitely considered an upset here. Ragnarok winning 2-0. Ragnarok has been in good shape and is even rumored to be 6.9, close to 7k in Korea when it comes to MMR. Another upset was Hero taking out Lambo and taking out Spirit. Hero has recently come back 3-4 months ago and is already starting to perform better and better. However, he's not considered one of the top 3 Protosses in Korea, and Lambo is considered a Korean top Protoss killer, taking out Zaun, Trap, and Zest on a regular basis. Hero, however, seemed to be a little bit too strong, and Lambo did end up getting knocked out of that loser bracket. Beyond being slightly too strong for Showtime and Solar being too powerful for Hero Marine perhaps aren't huge upsets, but these are still matches that every now and then perhaps they can win. This tournament, however, everything seems to go in favor of the Koreans and we end up with a very, very poor representation for the non-Koreans. Looking at the rest of the bracket though, as the final weekend is approaching, we have Serral still on top, will be taking on Trap, and as they played in the Pigsty Festival in a very long final, which Serral ended up winning, I do believe that Serral's once again going to be favored in this match as well. The bottom side, we have 2 foreigners taking each other on, so one more is going to get knocked out. Hero Marine versus Raynor in that lower bracket match, and personally a match that I'm looking forward to is Ragnarok versus Hero. Hero, one of the players that has recently recently come back, has been performing a lot better. And Ragnarok, a player that's been around and never left, but has also been performing a lot better recently, especially against Protoss. So it's going to be a banger of a weekend, and we will crown our champion on the Sunday. The NetEase Esports X tournament also continued in the past week as we finally reached the bracket stage. And the first round of the bracket stage was a rather one-sided affair. Lambo 3-0ing Zaun. Serral taking out Classic 3-0. Dark once again taking out Clem. That's the third time in a row. Out of the last 8 maps that they played, Clem did not win a single one. And the final match of the bracket stage was Ragnarok versus Zest. They've been trading games in the past few weeks, and this time it was Zest who seemed stronger. Moving on to the semifinals. Bit of an upset in the first semifinals where Lambo managed to take out Dark 3-2. This means that this is the first ever grand finals of Lambo in a premier tournament. It's the best performance he has ever had. And he'll be taking on Serral, who managed to take out Zest on the other side of the bracket in the semifinals. 3-1. Zest playing a little bit sloppy once again. Inconsistent results have been the name of the game for Zest. And once again in this series, brilliant moments, good defensive performances followed up by poor decision making, allowing Serral to get a relatively easy 3-1 victory. And tomorrow is going to be the final in next. It's going to be Lambo versus Serral, so a bit of a European affair. This week's game of the week is Beyond vs Dark Game 2 that was played on Berlingrad. Beyond starting with a bit of a lead after his Banshee opener, as Dark went into his standard Cave Bob style, roaches into an infestation pit, getting a couple of infestors out, Hydras, Lurkers, the good old Dark build, and didn't look all that brilliant for him for a while, and then somehow, some way, gets a couple of decent fights. His unit control being top-notch as always, ends up in not really a base trade, but a very scrappy late-game scenario in which finally Dark does manage to win. Was an absolute banger. I definitely recommend it on the TSL 8 Twitch channel. I think it's twitch.tv/tlnet. Will be a link of that in the description down below. As always, there were 3 ESL Open Cups this weekend. It was a special occasion as it was Cup number 100. Starting on Sunday, we had the ESL Open Cup Korea. Dark taking it in the finals 3-0 against Cure, only losing a single game in the entire tournament against Zaun earlier in the semis. Very impressive performance once again from the Korean Zerg player. Over in Europe, MaxPack said, I can do the same thing. He lost a single map against Ratata in one of the earlier rounds, but in the semifinals against Lambo didn't drop a map, and in the finals against Rainer, he didn't drop a map either. MaxPack's 3-0ing both players and taking his second European Cup win. In the final cup in America, we saw Special make quite a run, taking out Zaun in the quarterfinals 2-0, DRG 3-2 in the semifinals. In the finals fell short to Hero. Hero who has had a pretty decent week, taking out Lambo and Spirit in the TSL 8 and also winning the ESL Open America Cup. It was a difficult cup. There were loads of good players. Strap was there, DRG, Special, but Hero just a little bit too strong for all of them. Taking out Special 3-1 in the finals, and I believe that is his first ESL Open Cup victory. So congratulations to him. For this week's clip of the week, it is from the game of the week, obviously, and Dark pulled this particular move 4 times in this game. It's an absolute beauty. Enjoy.
He still has 12 tanks? Okay, I did not expect that. We have one infestor here on Burrow. He's gonna do it again! Oh. Neural Parasite on the Gulls and EMPs all of the remaining Gulls. 6th place by Dark.
Neuraling a ghost and EMPing his brothers is something we don't really see every single day. An impressive play out of Dark. It's cool to see these little tricks being used. This seems like a theory craft trick that Dark used here and actually worked out in a game. Actually allowed him to win the game as well. That's going to be it for today, but not before we ask the final question. When an American asks you, how are you? How do you respond? You don't tell them how you are. You say, fine, I'm doing well, and you respond with, how are you? How are you can also be the answer to the question, how are you? So they go, how are you? And you go, how are you? And then it's over. It's like saying hello in any other country in the world, just to be sure. If you've never been to America before, and someone asks you, how are you, in an elevator, don't tell them how you really are. Just tell them, fine, how are ya? That's it. All right, that's going to be it for today's episode of StarCraft Today. If you enjoyed this episode, as always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. I want to get 1 million subscribers before the end of the year. We're already at 76,000. So it's a realistic expectation. Tell all your friends about it, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.